Hey, what's going on? Mr. Simonini here. I hope all is okay. Reminder, when you're watching this video, please pause or rewind if you need to. Also, understand that if you need to contact me, please email me or post something on Schoology, post something on this YouTube comment. Whatever you need to do, please contact me if you have any questions or anything like that. But anyways, this video is about finding the vertex in standard form. So we're going to be focusing on being able to find the vertex of something that a quadratic that has a B, and C in it. And then again, being able to find the vertex is going to help us graph. So let's just go ahead and just dive right into it. So if you look here, there's two steps to do this. Now, the first step that you have to understand is this is like really one of the most important things that you have to understand. There's a formula out there. And what you do is you find the x of the vertex with a formula I'm about to give you, and then once you find the x, you can find the y of the vertex by basically just plugging it in. So if you look here, the y of the vertex, the important formula that you need to know, what it is, it's the opposite of b all over 2a. So in this case, it's going to be and you might see me write this negative b over 2a. These mean the same thing. When you see negative b, that just means opposite of b. And also remind yourself, or this is just a reminder, that whenever you find the x of the vertex, that's the same thing as the axis of symmetry. So if I ask you for the axis of symmetry, just remind yourself, oh, that's the x of the vertex. Oh, it's in standard form. I have to do opposite of b over 2a. Once you do opposite of b over 2a, then whatever answer you get for the x of the vertex, you can find the y of the vertex by plugging in your answer into the equation. So step 2, then plug in x of vertex to get the y of the vertex. So again, really important to understand these two steps before we dive into the problem. So what we need to be able to do is we have to be able to find a, b, and c, which hopefully should be easy because we have done that. A is 1 here because that's what's in front of x squared. B is 8 because that's what's in front of my x. And then c is 21 because it's my constant here. Now find the x of the vertex. Remember, it's opposite of b, or negative b, over 2a. So when I do this, the opposite of 8 will be negative 8. And then this is all over 2 times 1. Now, this might be something that you would have put in your calculator in class. So just a reminder, www.desmos.com is where you want to go, or you can download the app as well if you want to access the calculator. So let me just show you real quick. So you can go to your Safari or Google Chrome or whatever internet browser you're using, and you just go ahead and type in desmos.com. It's already showing up for me, but again, just for you, you can type it in. Now, we're not graphing yet. If you want access to something that's very similar to the yellow calculator in class, what you want to do is you want to click on the scientific calculator. Scientific calculator is very much similar to the calculator in class that you use every day. So if you look here, remember what we were trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out the x of the vertex. It's going to be negative 8 over 2 times 1. So again, if you just want to double check, again, hit a over b, negative 8. You just type it in, 2 over 1, put it in the parentheses, and I get my answer of negative 4. So I'll come here. My answer for my x, my vertex, is going to be negative 4, right? So again, this is the x of the vertex. So when I come here, my vertex, half of it, the x of it, is going to be negative 4. Now, once I have my x, now I can find my y. So I find my y by plugging in this answer into both x's, not just one, both of them. And when you plug it in, don't forget you need to make sure you have parentheses. So the y of the vertex is going to be negative 4, put that in parentheses, squared, plus 8, because it's 8x, right? 8 times negative 4, and then plus 21. Now again, this is something that you can just plug in your calculator then. So I'm going to come over here, clear it out. And if you need to write it on a piece of paper or split screen it, whatever you need to do. So it'll be negative 4 squared, plus 8 times negative 4 plus 21. And you get an answer of 5. So my y of my vertex is going to equal, I ran out of room here, is going to equal 5, right? So again, it's equaling 5. I'm going to get rid of that so it doesn't look confusing. So again, I got negative 4 and 5 as my answer. So again, my vertex is going to be negative 4, comma 5. I need to put it back in yellow. So that's how you find the vertex of something that's in standard form. Is this a formula that you need to apply, and then once you get your x, you can find your y by just plugging it in? Again, this is going to help us graph later on next week. One more example. Now this one's different because I threw a negative in front, and the negative trips people up a lot, especially when they're trying to find the y. But again, the two steps apply. Opposite of b over 2a to find the x of the vertex, and then you can plug that in to find your y. So if you look here, the first thing you have to be able to do though too is be able to identify your a. In that case, it's not 1. My a is negative 1, my b is negative 6, and my c is negative 9. Now when I do the x of the vertex in this case, again, the x of the vertex is going to equal opposite of b all over 2a. So in this case, it's going to be the opposite of negative 6, which is 6, all over 2. There always be 2 there. 2 times negative 1. And again, if you want to put this in your calculator in decimals, you can, but 6 divided by 2 times negative 1 would be 6 divided by negative 2, which would be negative 3. So negative 3 is going to be the x of the vertex in this case, and this is the part where people mess up is when they substitute this in. We're substituting this into x right there and substituting it into x right there to find the y of the vertex. So now I'm going to come down here. To find the y of the vertex, again, very important to pay attention to this part. My y of the vertex, I have to write that negative that's in front first. And then I plug in my negative 3. So if you look there, there's a negative and then parenthesis, negative 3 squared. Minus 6, and then I'm plugging in negative 3 yet again, and then minus 9. So I have to plug it in twice. Again, be aware of this negative that's in front. Again, if you need to come back here, I'm going to come here for this one. So negative, parenthesis, negative 3 squared, which is negative 9. I'm going to keep going though. Minus 6 times negative 3. And then what am I adding? Or I'm subtracting, right? It'd be subtracting 9. So subtract 9. And I get an answer of 0. It is totally fine to get an answer of 0 for x or y. In this case, it's for y. So my x, my vertex is negative 3. My y, my vertex is 0. So my vertex in this question is going to be negative 3, comma 0. All right. And that's it for this lesson. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.